Hey everyone, this is the Midnight Goddess, and I'm doing this video because I used to have a video on the myths of AIDS and HIV on my old channel before it was flagged down, and after a conversation with a friend of mine, I decided that perhaps it would be time to put this video out again, but when I watched the original, I didn't like it, so I have now redone it. So welcome to the myths about AIDS and HIV. So the first myth that we're going to tackle is that sex with virgins or animals will cure HIV or AIDS. Now this is most prevalent in sub-Saharan Africa. It was also believed in certain parts of Asia as well. Now, unfortunately, because of this myth being believed, there is a higher rate of sexual abuse, child molestations, and rapes of infants in Africa. Now, that's the entire continent of Africa, not a particular country in it, but the entire continent has these high rates of rape and molestation. Now, it's also believed that an animal will avoid or cure AIDS. Now, in 2002, the National Council of Societies for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in Johannesburg, South Africa, recorded amongst the youth that sex with animals is a means to avoid AIDS or to actually cure the infection. This is very similar to with the virgin cure. There's no scientific evidence to suggest that a sexual act can cure AIDS. There's no plausible mechanism by which you could do so that has ever been proposed. Basically, not only are you committing child abuse, sexual abuse, molestation, rape, you're giving somebody else that was healthy AIDS or HIV. This is why this myth is so harmful to so many people, because it affects not only the fact that this child had something horrible happen to them, but kind of the sick gift that keeps on giving is the fact that now they are HIV positive. And I think that we need to get some more information down to Africa, as well as provide contraceptions and things like that. I think that the fact that the church is meddling in the affairs of this continent and this and individual countries in it, knowing there's an AIDS epidemic, that they're committing a type of I don't want to say genocide, but essentially they're sitting by knowing that these people are going to die because of their teachings, and that is, to me, really, really sad. So, on to myth 2. So, myth 2. My partner and I are both HIV positive. There's no reason for us to have to practice safer sex. Now, this is wrong because most people don't realize that you can catch different strains of HIV once you're already infected, because you're infected with a certain strain, and your partner could be infected with a different strain, and therefore you could give it to each other again. So this is something that is really important to know. Safer sex, even if both partners are HIV positive, because it just can go downhill and you can have more than one type of HIV at that point. Myth 3. You can't get HIV from oral sex. Now, it is more difficult to get HIV from oral sex, but if you have a cut in your gums or an open sore, like a canker sore, or you had your wisdom teeth pulled and they're healing, Well, that's an open place where the blood will touch the um, either the semen or the vaginal fluids that happen during oral sex. So you can catch it through oral sex, although it is more difficult. So that is something to remember. Dental dams are your friend, or oral sex with condoms, things like that. There are ways to be protected and to still perform oral sex. Myth 4. If I'm receiving treatment, I can't spread the HIV virus. Now, I knew this was untrue, but I did a bit of research, and I'm quoting the article specifically. When HIV treatment works well, it can reduce the amount of the virus in your blood to a level so low that it doesn't show up on blood tests. Research shows, however, that the virus is still kind of quote unquote hiding in other areas of your body. It is essential to practice safer sex so you don't make someone else HIV positive. So the fact that you are on medication and your treatments are going well does not mean that you cannot infect another person. Myth 5. HIV positive individuals can be detected by their appearance. Okay, so no. There's no like mark of the beast or something like that that appears on your body. You don't get a glowing sign over your head. You don't have it tattooed on your forehead. People with HIV look just like everybody else, especially in the early stages. And we have to remember this illness can stay hidden in the body for like 10 years. And the person who has it doesn't know that they have it. So how can you tell that someone has it if the person who has it doesn't even know themselves? Just something to think about. Myth number 6. HIV can infect only homosexual men and drug users. Okay, this one's a little bit ridiculous because it's a virus. It's not going to knock on your door and be like, oh, I'm HIV, I'm coming to infect you. And you go, no, I'm a white heterosexual man or woman, and I don't do drugs. And it's going to say, oh, my bad, I'm just going to go head down to the gay bar down the street. Sorry for bothering you. I mean, it's a virus. It doesn't care what your gender is. It doesn't care what your sexuality is. It doesn't care if you are black, white, yellow, purple, polka dotted, and orange. It doesn't care. It's a virus. It's not going to pick and choose who to give it to. It's going to either give it to you or it's not. Kind of like any other STDs or STIs. Okay, so myth number 7 is the origin of AIDS is through human-monkey sexual intercourse. Now, this is just completely wrong, of course. The reason I added it is because I wanted to discuss a bit about the origin of HIV and AIDS. And it was originally thought that a Canadian airline steward named Gaetan Dugas, who is referred to as Patient Zero by the CDC, that he was the one who brought it to North America. Now, this is false because he is Patient Zero because out of the 240 people known to be infected in 1983, 40 of these people had intercourse with Gaetan Dugas. So that's why he's Patient Zero, not because he's the one who brought it over. The person who actually brought it over was a Haitian immigrant who contracted it while working in the Democratic Republic of Congo in the 1960s. And people have always, made the joke that it was, someone went out and had sex with a monkey. Well, actually, it's a mutated form of the simian immunodeficiency virus known as SIV. This is only present in chimpanzees and African monkeys. So, what they believe happened is because these two species are hunted for food, that someone ate an infected um, monkey or chimpanzee that was infected with the SIV, so the simian immunodeficiency virus, and that person is the first known instance of HIV found in a person, and this person died in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1959. And as I said before, in the 1960s, it was brought over through a Haitian immigrant from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So the fact that it is actually really widely believed that somebody had sex with a monkey and that's how we have AIDS. So I just wanted to make sure to clear that up, which is why it is in this particular video. Don't worry guys, we're almost done. Myth 8. There's no AIDS in Africa. Now, while most people would be like, what are you talking about, Midnight? Of course there's AIDS in Africa. Well, there's this thing that's called AIDS denialism. And they believe that there's no AIDS in Africa. It's nothing more than a new name for a bunch of old diseases put together, such as cachexia, diarrheal diseases, tuberculosis. They have always been there, as because you're dealing with a high rate of elderly and malnourished young people and middle-aged people. So they're already susceptible to a lot of illnesses, such as pulmonary tuberculosis. It's 17 times more likely that you could die from tuberculosis than a HIV individual who's got tuberculosis at the same time. So they're using this as a way of saying, oh no, it's nothing, you're making something out of nothing, it's just old diseases and you've decided to put a new name on it so you can fearmonger and try and make us let them use condoms and contraceptives so that they're like safe and don't have children that they can't support, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous that AIDS denialism is a thing, and that they continue to push this no contraceptives, no condoms, etc. thing in Africa, and they're just making an entire continent slowly die. It's really sad if you think about it. So on to myth 9. Myth 9. You can get HIV by being around people who are HIV positive. Now this is a quick myth to dispel, because you can't get HIV from shaking someone's hand, from drinking out of their glass, kissing them on the cheek, breathing the same air. These are all things that should be known. However, a lot of people still think that just being around someone who's HIV positive, you can contract the illness. Now, this is something that should be squashed and kiboshed, because what it is doing is, this particular myth is making it harder for people with HIV to be part of society. It's almost like ostracizing them or cutting them off because there's something wrong or bad or different about them. And I think that in 2015, we should know better, and that science has proven more and more as the years have gone by that it is not caught by casual contact. So, myth 10: if you are HIV positive, your life is over. Now, this could have been said back in the 80s when this was first a huge outbreak and they didn't know what it was, and they were scrambling. Was it a type of cancer? Was it an STD? Was it this? Was it that? Because they didn't know how it was transmitted at first. And there was a huge death rate. Pretty much back then, it was a death sentence. However, we have come a long, long way, such as AZT and other antiretroviral drugs. They can be used to give you a healthier life, a longer life, a life with fewer symptoms, things like this. It can be controlled with a 2-drug combination, 3-drug combination. It all depends on your particular case. And you have to have trial and error with any type of medications. However, it can be controlled with medication, and it can be a long, happy, healthy life if you do what you're supposed to do. So this has been like 10 myths about HIV and AIDS. And I really hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed remaking it. I would love to get your feedback, so if you could just leave a comment, whether it's negative or positive. If you want me to do more sex-related videos, or if you have an idea for a video that you want me to do, please leave it in the description box. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share this video. And this is the Midnight Goddess saying, if you can't love yourselves, darlings, how in the hell are you supposed to love anybody else? And remember, these are myths that need to be dispelled, and knowledge cures ignorance. So if you're in the know, be fucking contagious.